that time again. Time to slowly, painfully ease yourself back into consciousness.
Your television station offers its viewers everything from softcore pornography to hardcore violence. Why?
In order to survive, we have to give people something they can't get anywhere else.
Don't keep me waiting. She died on Videodrome.
The movie begins with a statement from the Civic Broadcasting Station, which says that television is something people take to bed with them. A woman appears on the television screen, reminding Max to wake up because he has an important meeting to attend.
I'm nothing less than your faithful girl, Friday.
Max gets out of bed and begins his day by meeting with a seller who provides the hormone content for his station. They discuss the latest tape, which Max takes to review with his team. This is a crucial part of his job, as he needs to ensure the content is suitable for his audience and decide if it can be broadcast. He and his team watch the tape together to evaluate its potential. One of his team members believes that they can attract an audience with this content, thinking it has a certain appeal. However, Max finds the hormone material too soft and unexciting. He feels that their audience craves something more intense and provocative.
Looking for something that'll break through, you know, something.
After this meeting, Max has another important rendezvous. He meets with Harlan, who operates an unauthorized satellite dish that picks up violent videos from around the globe. Harlan is a key figure for Max because he provides access to unique and often illicit content. During their meeting, Harlan shows Max footage from a show called Videodrome. Harlan speculates that the show's signal might be coming from Malaysia, indicating the global reach and mysterious origins of this disturbing content. The footage is shocking. It shows two masked individuals torturing a woman in a room with walls made of clay. The woman appears to be in severe distress and is seemingly tortured to death. This graphic and brutal content immediately grabs Max's attention. He becomes fascinated and deeply interested in the show, recognizing its potential to attract viewers with its raw and extreme nature. Leaving the satellite station, Max proceeds to a TV show interview. He is joined by a radio host named Nikki and a media expert known as the Professor, who only makes television appearances and never in person. The interviewer questions Max about his choice to broadcast hormones and violent content. Max defends his programming decisions by explaining that it's driven by economics. People have a desire to watch unusual and provocative material, and he is simply catering to that demand. The interviewer then challenges Max, asking about the potential impact of his broadcasting on the country's climate of violence. Max argues that his station provides a safe outlet for people's fantasies and urges, allowing them to watch hormone and violent content without acting on these impulses in real life. He believes that by offering such programming, his station has a positive effect on society.
To give people something they can't get anywhere else.
The interviewer then turns to Nikki for her opinion on Max's station. Nikki explains that people are overstimulated by their surroundings, which leads them to become desensitized to ordinary stimuli. As a result, they crave something more intense and unusual, like hardcore content, to feel stimulated. However, she also notes that this desensitization and the constant need for overstimulation can be harmful. During this exchange, Max comments on Nikki's dress, suggesting it is overstimulating. Nikki agrees with him, and in a bold move, Max asks her out on a date right there on the show. He returns to Harlan to watch another episode. Intrigued by the content, Max asks Harlan about the show's plot.
Can't take your eyes off it. It's incredibly realistic.
Harlan reveals that there is no plot. Videodrome is merely a series of scenes featuring torture, murder, and mutilation. He also corrects his earlier statement, revealing that the show originates from Pittsburgh, not Malaysia. Later that evening, Max and Nikki go out on their date. After spending some time together, they return to Max's place for a more intimate moment. Nikki, feeling aroused, asks Max to put on a hormone show, as it excites her. While looking for the tape, Nikki stumbles upon the Videodrome footage. She watches it and becomes intrigued by the extreme content, revealing her masochistic tendencies. Nikki expresses a desire to be tortured like the woman in the show. Max is shocked to see wounds on her neck, indicating that she is already engaged in such activities. As they continue their intimate encounter, Max starts to hallucinate, imagining that they are in the clay room from the Videodrome. The next day, Max meets with a softcore pornographer to discuss Videodrome. Videodrome. He believes that the violent and torturous content of Videodrome represents the future of his broadcasting station. He asks her to help track down more information about the show, hoping to incorporate similar content into his programming. That night, Nikki informs Max that she is planning to go to Pittsburgh to audition for the Videodrome. Max is concerned for her safety, warning her that the show might be too dangerous. However, Nikki is excited by the challenge and insists on going.
Listen to me. What? I want you to stay away from it.
Soon after, Max meets the pornographer again to share information about the Videodrome. She warns him to stay away from it, emphasizing that it is too dangerous for public consumption. She explains that Videodrome involves real torture and violence, not just acting. She also reveals that there is a political movement behind the show, making it even more perilous. Despite her reluctance, she discloses that the professor is connected to the Videodrome. Max decides to visit the professor's headquarters, which is equipped with television cubicles. The professor's daughter uses these cubicles for psychological therapy for homeless people, arguing that they suffer from a lack of access to television. She believes that by giving them access to TV, they can reintegrate into society. Max inquires about her father, and she explains that the professor doesn't communicate directly, but has left a videotape for Max. That night, Max's secretary delivers the videotape from the professor to his home. As Max begins to watch it, he starts to hallucinate, imagining that he is slapping Nikki. Disturbed by the hallucination, he sends his secretary away. In the videotape, the professor explains that there is a mental battle in society, fought through controlling what people see on TV. He says that what appears on television feels like a raw experience to viewers, making TV a powerful tool for shaping reality. The professor reveals that Max's hallucinations are already affecting him, and that he is living in a state of partial hallucination. He needs to adapt to his new reality.
Therefore, whatever appears...
The professor also reveals that the hallucinations caused a brain tumor to grow in his brain, making him the first victim of Videodrome. In the meantime, in the background, Nikki suddenly appears on the tape, choking the professor to death and instructing Max to come to her. Max's hallucination intensifies, making the television appear as if it is a living, breathing entity. The next day, deeply troubled by his hallucinations, Max returns to the professor's daughter. She asks him about his experiences, and Max realizes that the hallucinations began after his exposure to Videodrome. She explains that Videodrome's signal does more than just show violent content. It causes hallucinations and brain tumors. She reveals that the professor is already dead from a brain tumor and only exists through videotapes. The professor created Videodrome to advance human evolution, but his partner had a different vision and ultimately killed him. Max, now deeply disturbed by his experiences, seeks more answers about his condition. He asks the professor's daughter about his Videodrome-induced brain tumor. In response, she gives him another videotape from her father. Max hurries to Harlan to ask if he has experienced similar hallucinations. However, Harlan assures him that he has not had any such experiences, leaving Max feeling even more isolated in his ordeal. That night, Max sits down to watch the videotape from the professor. On the tape, the professor explains that the hallucinations Max is experiencing are part of an evolutionary process of the brain. As Max watches, he suddenly feels an intense sensation and begins scratching his stomach with his gun. However, to his horror, his stomach opens up like a gaping wound. In a state of shock and curiosity, he inserts the gun into his stomach, causing him to feel a bit of pleasure and pain. As soon as he withdraws his hand, his stomach miraculously closes up again. He receives a phone call from a man named Convex, who introduces himself as the professor's partner in creating Videodrome. Convex instructs Max to come down and take a cab waiting for him. Driven by his intense curiosity about Videodrome, Max follows Convex's instructions. Inside the cab, Convex introduces himself through the television installed in the vehicle. He explains that he owns a company that manufactures sunglasses and missile guidance systems, and reveals that his company is also responsible for creating Videodrome. Max arrives at Convex's store, which is filled with various high-tech devices. Convex greets him warmly and offers to help Max understand his hallucinations better. He presents Max with a device designed to record his hallucinations for analysis. Trusting Convex, Max wears the device. Almost immediately, he begins to hallucinate a pixelated version of Nikki appearing in front of him. As the hallucination progresses, it becomes increasingly lifelike. Nikki, now appearing more real, hands Max a whip and instructs him to use it. As he raises the whip, the scene around him transforms into the Videodrome clay room. Nikki morphs into a television, and as he lashes out, the image on the screen changes to the pornographer, who screams in pain. Max suddenly wakes up in his bed, unable to distinguish between reality and his hallucinations. He is horrified to find the dead body of the pornographer lying next to him. Panicked, he calls Harlan to come over and document the scene. However, when Harlan arrives, the body is nowhere to be found. Max, now in a state of confusion and fear, angrily questions Harlan about whether he recorded Videodrome the previous night.
She would have caught it.
I'll meet you in the lab in 1 hour. I want to see it.
Jeez.
Offended by Max's tone, Harlan denies any wrongdoing. Max, realizing he might have been too harsh, apologizes and tells Harlan they will talk later. Determined to find answers, Max meets Harlan at the satellite station. He asks if Harlan saw him in the Videodrome the night before, but Harlan denies there was any transmission. Just then, Convex arrives at the station, revealing that Harlan has been working for him all along. Harlan had deliberately exposed Max to Videodrome as part of a larger plan. Convex explains that their goal is to eliminate morally corrupt individuals who are drawn to violent and torturous content. They plan to use Max's broadcasting station to expose these people to Videodrome, ultimately leading to their eradication. Max, initially resistant to this plan, is shown a videotape by Convex that manipulates him into compliance. His stomach opens up once more, and Convex inserts the tape into him. As Convex and Harlan leave, the tape begins to play inside Max, and he hears a whisper instructing him to kill his colleagues at the broadcasting station. His gun reappears, emerging from his stomach and attaching itself to his hand. Under the tape's influence, Max returns to the broadcasting station and shoots both of his teammates. The voice from the tape then instructs Max to kill the professor's daughter. Max, now fully under Videodrome's control, goes to find her. She, aware of his condition, hides in the television cubicles. Max searches and comes across footage of Nikki's death, revealing that she is already dead and exists only through videotapes. The television screen then morphs, and a hand holding a gun emerges, shooting Max in the stomach. Despite the wound, Max's body heals quickly. The professor's daughter steps out and explains that Max has been reprogrammed to turn against the Videodrome. She urges him to destroy Convex and end the menace of Videodrome. The next day, Max, now determined to fulfill his new mission, waits for Harlan on the street. He sees a television broadcasting his murderous actions from the previous day. Spotting Harlan entering Convex's store, Max follows him. Inside, Harlan tries to insert another tape into Max's stomach, but Max's body traps Harlan's hand inside. When Harlan pulls his hand out, a grenade made of flesh is attached to it. The grenade soon explodes, killing Harlan. Max, now more resolved than ever, rushes to confront Convex, who is presenting at a company event. Max walks onto the stage and shoots Convex, causing his body to undergo a grotesque transformation. Convex's body splits open and flesh begins to spill out. Max declares that the Videodrome's end is near and that a new reality will emerge.
Get the Videodrome! Long live the new flesh!
Following these violent acts, Max hides in an abandoned ship at the harbor. There, a television broadcasts Nikki's image, telling Max that while he has hurt Videodrome, he hasn't destroyed it completely. She instructs him to enter a new phase by ending his own life. The television then shows Max shooting himself. Inspired by the vision, Max points the gun at himself and pulls the trigger, bringing his life to a tragic end. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.